All right, I am live. Welcome to another M3 gaming video. I am going into the Vanguard playlist with a Thorn Necrotic Grip build and doing some bounties, just getting some experience, leveling up my vendors, that sort of thing. The reason I played Destiny so much, and I remember having this conversation on Devon's live stream about nostalgia and the things that we choose to entertain ourselves with. Destiny is one of those that just hits all the buttons for me. It's action packed, but it's not incredibly difficult. But it has build decisions that you can make, and those decisions change over time, so that the game remains somewhat fresh, but also very, very familiar. And so one of the things I've noticed from other people's complaints about the game is that they feel it's just more of the same season after season. And of course, that's the point, at least for me, is that comfort and familiarity. Like Thorn, I've been playing with for ever, right? But it recently got a buff this season, which is making it feel different. And with Necrotic Grip, you're doing all kinds of shit. Your tangles do a lot now because there's a thing on the I'm trying to remember what it's called, an artifact mod that helps you create tangles. So it's just really, there's a cooldown of like 10 seconds per tangle, so it's like there are so many ways within your subclass to make them that it gives you different just different build possibilities. But I'm not even actually building into my tangles. Actually building into the Thorn. Thinking about leading off with a bow and then finishing with a thorn shot to get the remnant. I got to get bow kills for my bounties. Where are the enemies anyway? Oh, there's one. Yeah, I'll let other people pick up the tangles. I just realized like they might have some didn't check the threat in here. Grab this.
You're on the right track. Keep drilling down. You'll hit gold soon enough.
We're picking up big energy spikes below your feet. Odds are good, but that's where their commander is.
So I have tried out a new editing regime. I've noticed one thing that may have been holding up my productivity with the videos coming out. Like, 10 years ago when I started the M3 YouTube channel, I was putting out so many more videos every week. And I think that was just simply because of my ignorance. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't have to think about as much as I do now. And I had more help, especially on the graphics design side. Like, I have no help now. But I think the major difference is that, I just didn't hold myself to such a high standard that I've been doing. And I was just having a lot more fun back then. I wasn't taking it so serious. Trying to rethink my build a little bit here. I like the thorn and I like the poison, but I think the threadlings are pretty, I don't know, useless maybe. Like, it doesn't synergize with this, as far as I can tell. Oh, come on. Oh, what the fuck? I was like, at that point, I was like, I want a grapple grenade so bad. I could put some kinetic surges on my mods. Truly lean into the extra damage that you get from the orbs that you pick up. Okay, I guess that's that. Just get some sword kills when I get down there. I mean, I guess that's right.
Time to show the big boss what you got.
You know how to get their attention.
At this point, it seems like we should just let the vets take care of these scions themselves. This is their territory, after all.
And if they're not successful? Or worse, what if they are, and they use the scions to upgrade their prediction engines? It wasn't too long ago those possibilities broke you out into a cold sweat.
I know. We've just got so many enemies, and they're all enemies with each other. Would it kill them to save us the effort every now and again?
All right. Well, that was a little underwhelming for me. Just gonna be real. So I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna have to go into Destiny Item Manager and select the new exotic. Let's see. So I'm gonna go to Void. And I'm gonna try out the new exotic here. Going into Destiny Item Manager to help me create a loadout. I'm pretty sure the one that I just used I have saved, but let's see. Okay, this is what it came up with. So, child of the old gods is what void soul. It's different depending on which one you use, and I'm thinking I want to use it on. So it says you get health if you're in an empowering rift. You get grenade and melee energy if you're in a healing rift. And it says defeating a target with it gives you class ability energy. Okay. So I think healing rift is probably the way to go. I kind of figured as much, but anyway. I think I can't not take off recovery. That just doesn't feel right. I'm going to put one that gives me resilience. That just seems like a more. Yeah, because it's going to be more difficult to get those stats up. And the ability to heal from the melee is pretty good. Okay, so. All right. Hmm. What's the threat today? It's arc. Okay. Resilience. Make that recovery. I can't really use that. So I'll just make it bomber. Okay. I don't think my orbs are giving me devour. Okay. So I have never used this exotic. I figure I might as well give it a shot while I'm on stream. That's why I am sitting here changing items up. But let me go into dim and just pull my void weapons here. Okay. I think that might work better. It's a void orb is going to give me debuff. Let's just jump in. Let's see what bounties I have later. So it says I can deploy my arc soul, like it lasts longer and then I can pick it up. I don't know what that means, but it's a sword and bow. This could be fun. All right. We'll see what we get here. I haven't actually tried these before, so that's an unfortunate amount of discipline. I can't believe that nobody is targeting this skiff or whatever you call it. Like, that's not just going to murder you. Damn. Arc Souls are fucking awesome right now. It's pretty good. I mean, Arc's Void Souls that last longer that you can pick up. I don't even actually need to pick them up, but I mean, that is pretty cool.
Cabal have hardened bunkers up ahead.
I see a whole lot of them from up here. Give them hell.
I don't know exactly how long they last, but they already lasted pretty long, you know? If they give me grenade and melee energy back and class ability, like I get all three of my abilities back with the Void Souls. Plus I have a healing rift on the ground. Seems good. I could sacrifice a recovery and go all in on like void damage. Like void surge mods. Right now, I have an overshield. Those are pretty good.
Nicely done. Now go start the rite of proving. Once you make short work of the commander, we'll be done here.
Not a moment too soon.
God. Did you see that? He knocked me all the way fucking over there. And I didn't die. Like, I don't know how that worked. It usually is an insta kill.
Nice work, Guardian. As always.
God, those hand cannons suck. All right. It's not horrible. Just I don't think I like this bow all that much. Okay. I'm gonna try out this Gambit machine gun. Is this disgrace? No? Okay,
Despite
battlegrounds.
our best efforts, the Lucent Hive have stockpiled a significant amount of light.
My scions cannot predict the Hive's plan. Only that it must be stopped. No arguments here. Let's bring him down.
Just thinking about how we were fighting the hive in one breath and then now teaming up with them on the next. This bow is not bad. Feels a lot better than it used to. They said they buffed bows a little bit. I think I still like the precision bows a little better, but it does feel a little better. Yeah, this build is pretty good. It's pretty good. Survivability is pretty high. Yeah. Now this one's kind of ridiculous because this auto rifle, it heals you on kill anyway. Then with the arc soul, I'll be getting some health back. This is
Those things are filled
possibly
with the
good.
blood of our dead fire teams. Burn this place to the ground.
Wow. This thing is kind of like a little menace. Wow. That's fucking effective. Jeez. I'll just get my void soul back. Oh my god, that's kind of hot.
An operation of this scale would require
I mean, it's on the level of Getaway Artist, maybe even better.
I've got his trail. He won't get far.
Once you find him, the Guardian will be the one to engage them.
He
I
disappeared. I have another one waiting. Not bad at all. I don't know how to survive this part very well.
Those psychic projections represent the Witch Queen's hold over her subject. Use the synaptic sphere to sever her connection.
Got some sort of triumph there. There's like no safe space on this board. You just gotta have to keep moving.
I've finished the perimeter sweep. We're all clear. I think we can pack it up.
I expect your report to be personally delivered to my desk before sundown. You have a long way to go to make up for what you've
You
done.
get some free upgrades
Yes,
on
sir.
weapons that I wasn't using.
I understand.
Yeah. New exotic is good. It changes the gameplay loop. It's not too strong, but it's strong. It is very, very strong. Yeah. I'm a fan. Let's see what else is there. Huh. Okay, I think I'm done on my warlock. I think this time I am going to go on my hunter, which is saying something because I have a new exotic on my hunter as well. I got both of these exotics in the Legend Lost sector on the Throne World yesterday. I think it was Sepulchre. All of the new exotics this season are gauntlets, so arm exotics. So I was like, okay. I tried out a few new bills. Strand was always a surge, so I did Strand bills on all three. I did get one for the Titan. Its stats are so out of whack. It has some like 15 mobility. There's no way I could ever masterwork that. I don't even remember what the Titan one does. But because I earned it from the Legend Lost sector, I can focus engrams for this season. I think. I don't know how that works. I've never focused in exotic. So that being said, let me check, make sure my engrams are empty. I got 3 slots open. Okay. I'm gonna come here,
Nice shooting out there.
get all the bounties.
Done and done.
Bow, hand, cannon, sword. Yeah.
I'll be pulling for you, if I remember.
Hi there. Transfer. Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck. Good luck.
I have no idea how the
I'm prepared, soldier is victorious, soldier.
little gauntlets work. I was using Foe Tracer in that Lost sector, but yeah, not really what I want to do. I mean, it was okay. I'm going to save this. Let me save this in dim. Okay. All right, I got the faux tracer saved. And now I don't even know the name of this exotic, but let me equip it. Mothkeeper's wraps. I mean, that's all right. Okay.
They show.
All right. I should be running like demolitionist weapons, and I have some of those available. It's actually the same weapons I used in the Legend Lost sector to get these exotics, so it's kind of neat. Let's see. I can pull an exotic bow. All right. Let's check out the moth exotic. It's very interesting. I have no idea what it's going to be like. Let me check my subclass. I don't think it really matters which grenade I use, does it? I think I'm going to use the grapple just because the cooldown is lower. Let me read this. I don't get they become something that release on contact. I guess you throw the cage. I haven't never seen it. So let's just go check it out. This is one of the things that I'm having to learn as a learner, is that the best way to learn is to just try. And I have plenty of activities to do on my hunter, so probably gonna main this hand cannon, I guess. I don't know. No, I guess the bow. It's a good question. I don't know. That's not even the right bow. My bad. It's supposed to be Wish Ender. Needed kinetic damage. So yeah, I'm gonna use this bow first. The hand cannon is good though. Curious as to the fact that you can turn your grenade into a healing grenade, possibly. I don't know. Okay, we're back on this stage.
Dropping you in hot. Get a move on.
Cabal gun placements up ahead. They saw us coming. And watch out for drop pods.
Okay. Okay, so my first impressions. These things are super strong. Just like
Halfway there.
healing slash killing tracking grenades. And because I'm on Strand, I get 2 just because of the aspect that I'm using. Plus, more damage gives me more of these grenades. Like, wow. This is kind of busted. It's kind of awesome. Like, I can toss it toward my ally, give them an overshield, and damage enemies. Jeez. I might never take these off. I'm sorry. These are so good. Give myself an overshield. That's fucking awesome. Man.
Nicely done. Now go start the rite of proving. Once you make short work of the commander, we'll be done here.
And not a moment too soon.
Damn, this hand cannon is so good. And overshield plus woven nail. Holy shit. That is so good.
Nice work, Guardian. As always.
Wow. So let me go ahead and save this. Okay. Now let me see. The only thing left is the hand cannon. Show them. Oh, kill with fire. Show them the light. Yep. Okay.
Guardian, the Scorn have overrun the worm breeding grounds once again. Are you nearby?
We are handling it now.
I'm glad to have a new exotic to play around with. Grenadier is like my favorite modifier, and these just make it so much more interesting. That was amazing. Usually those things would just destroy you in there. You can give yourself overshields like bananas. Can sometimes take a while to hit their target, but god damn, that's amazing. Nice. Got my super kills in. It's so cool that I can overshield my allies. I love it. And myself. I mean, it's crazy.
The worm breeding ground is clear of scope. For now.
They'll be back, I'm sure. But your efforts continue to hold them off. Good
That's
work as
pretty
always,
fucking cool.
Guardian.
Holy shit. I'm never going to take this off. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. Okay. Let me look for certain demolitionist weapons. I think. What else can I add to this?
Dropping you in hot. Get a move on.
Cabal gun placements up ahead. They saw us coming. And watch out for drop pods.
Holy shit.
Halfway there. Cabal have hardened bunkers up ahead.
I see a whole lot of them from up
I'm
here.
gonna be farming these strikes, bro. Like, oh, these are crazy. Got all kinds of like homing explosives. This is the Grenadier build. It is. This is the Grenadier build. It's arc grenades, but
Nicely done. Now go start the rite of proving. Once you make short work of their commander, we'll be done here.
And not a moment too soon.
wow.
Nice work, Guardian. As always.
Wow. Just taking all the loot. Jeez. So, my God, it's not a challenge at all. It just broke the game on Grenadier. Ooh, man, I think I could also break the game on lightning crystals, right? Like I could run a stasis or arc hunter, probably arc, obviously, because I would have arc moths. Wow. So busted. Okay, let me head back to the tower real quick. That was cool. So by this point, I usually have gone into some of my topics that I want to do for Wednesday. Have not really got any right now. So really what I really need to work on is just editing some of the videos that I have. I have some ready to go. I just need to like divide it up a little bit and like add some graphics, some B-roll probably.
What do you think?
Okay, nice.
Good. You're back.
It's like the only wellspring special weapon I have. I was thinking about the trace rifle, but this thing did pretty good. Yeah, that's a lot better. Don't need two reloaders. Bolstering detonation and maybe momentum transfer. I mean, that way I get both class and melee ability back, right? for my grenades. So I'm throwing so many. Arc, solar, and void resist. Yeah. Then on this, I would probably just have it last longer. Yeah, double strand. Double strand surge. Strand and void siphon. Got the loader there, and then these give me my other abilities back. I don't think my dodge does anything other than reload my weapon, which doesn't really mean anything on this. So could just I don't care about my melee at all. So what else could I do? Grenade kickstart makes no sense.
Adjusting magnification and display position. Cross button confirm zoom adjustment. PS button and square button switch magnification.
Already at 100 discipline and resilience. So I think the first thing, fastball, because I'm tossing grenades. And then, of course, why am I not running firepower? Jeez. Okay. Now, let's see if I can spice up the look of my hunter. Okay. It's kind of neat. That's fine. I'm going to listen to some podcasts because these strikes were way too easy. All right, let's go.
Or disputes some of the conduct that is alleged in the indictment. It's alleged, for example, that he met with some delegation of Pennsylvania legislators to discuss calling a special session to potentially appoint electors in favor of Trump. And Meadows says that he did not take part in that meeting. He says he was there in the beginning. He introduced himself as chief of staff, and then he exited before the substantive discussion about the election occurred. And then he also said that he did not instruct John McEntee to write a memo about how to potentially overturn the results of the election. So that was new. But otherwise, there wasn't a whole lot that was new.
Do you get a sense? I mean, do we have any signal which way the judge might go on all of this? I mean, obviously Meadows really wanted this ruling to come down to remove this to federal court before he had to be arrested. He was trying to avoid being arrested. He didn't want that mugshot. The judge pointed out that under the law and under precedent that you generally didn't stop state-level prosecutions while a case like this was pending. Now, the judge has asked some questions. Do we know when a ruling will come down? And do you get a sense of how it went? Do you think the judge is going to be inclined to remove the case?
We don't know when a ruling will come down. I did get the sense that Judge Jones might take some time, and I will point out that he's ordered some additional briefing on the matter. So I think it may be a little while. This is an area of law that's really unsettled, and he pointed out that there's not a whole lot of precedent and that this will probably set precedent for future cases. But in terms of what I gathered from how it went, I got the sense that Judge Jones seemed to think that at least some conduct was maybe not in the scope of Meadows' duties as chief of staff. Mm-hmm. He asked a lot of pointed questions about the president's and the federal government's power under the Constitution to get involved in state elections. He seemed at times to maybe want Meadows to be a little bit more direct about some of the answers that he was giving that seemed, I think, to me, to not be entirely credible. Meadows would give some answers that sounded a little bit wishy-washy and that were... Surprise. Yeah, he would say things like, there was this email that Meadows says, we just need to get electors coordinated in the states. And Meadows came up with this, response of saying, oh, well, I overused the term we. It's a leftover from my congressional days. I didn't want to take too much credit for myself. And there were responses that I think my impression of the judge's facial expressions and demeanor, I think there were times when the judge did not find Meadows to be entirely credible. And so I think at least to some extent, there's a chance that it is not removed to federal court. But at the same time, like you said, Charlie, the judge pointed out that very often these things are removed and it's a very, very low bar. So I'm really not sure what to expect here.
Okay, well, the other major development, of course, were the speedy trial requests from Sidney Powell and Kenneth Cheeseborough. Under the law, they have the right to ask for an expedited trial. This creates, of course, a dilemma for Fani Willis, or you can use whatever words you want to use on all of this. She clearly does not want to sever these cases. She wants all 19 to be on trial at the same time, because it's certainly easier to be able to paint the picture of the vast conspiracy, the interconnectedness, if they are all on trial. If they go singly, they kind of have the ability to point to the empty chair and say, well, that other person was responsible. Why should I be held responsible? So you have two of the defendants who've asked for a speedy trial. Fani Willis then filed this rather extraordinary motion to say, okay, let's try everybody early. So how is that going to play out? I mean, it seems extremely unlikely that we are going to have a vast conspiracy RICO case against 19 defendants, including the former president of the United States, in October. So tell me what's going on, this back and forth maneuvering gamesmanship.
Like you said, Fani Willis wants to try all of them together. I think that to some extent, Cheeseborough and Powell filing these speedy trial motions, it's a way for them to remove themselves from the larger group, because I think it's very unlikely that even though it's the defense who has the burden to show that they should be severed or separated from other defendants in a case like this, I think it's very unlikely that the judge is going to effectively force these defendants who don't want a speedy trial and who want more time to prepare to go ahead and go to trial in October, right? Because there's going to be all kinds of evidence. They might have a lot of motions that they want to file that maybe Powell and Cheeseborough's team doesn't. So there's just a lot of complicating factors with, putting defendants who don't want this speedy trial to effectively say to them, okay, you got to prepare for this, 19 defendant RICO case in 2 months. I just don't think that Judge McAfee is going to do that. The big question is going to be whether or not we see Powell and Cheeseborough and anyone else who does want a speedy trial put together. Powell and Cheeseborough yesterday filed motions to sever from each other and from every other defendant. And of course, someone like Cheeseborough, who has not been implicated in things like the Coffee County breach, he's not going to want to have anything to do with Powell's trial. So I think that the question that remains for me is who else is going to file speedy trial demands, and then to what extent will Judge McAfee say that they should be tried together. And I think that, whether or not these actually go in October, it's really unclear to me. There's a lot of things that could happen that would delay that October date and that would effectively mean that Powell and Cheeseborough have waived their speedy trial demand. So, like I said, this might be some gamesmanship on their part to just try to get severed from as many defendants as possible, but we'll see.
Okay, no, because it's 2023, there's always a political aspect to this. And one of the extraordinary developments we're seeing both in Washington and in Georgia is the zeal with which Republican legislators want to use their power to obstruct the investigation. In Washington, they're pushing ahead with proposals to defund the special counsel. And there's this effort to either oust or impeach Fani Willis in the Georgia legislature. Now, Greg Bluestein of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution calls this a fantasy that far-right Republicans think they can stop her from prosecuting Trump. And yesterday, I thought this was rather significant, another conservative Republican, the Speaker of the Georgia House, John Burns, joined others, including the governor, in saying that I'm not really bothered about antagonizing Trump. And he wrote a letter to his caucus, Speaker Burns, saying that targeting one DA would undermine the idea of separation of powers if not violated. So So right now, does that appear to be dead on arrival in Georgia? Because, I mean, there was this buzz that the Georgia legislature could step in and just yank Fani Willis out of the case. Not going to happen?
While I understand certainly the concern over the talk about removing Fani Willis, I think that what people need to know is that Georgia has very complex Republican leadership politics. It's maybe not as, simple as a bunch of, MAGA Republicans who want to oust Fani Willis. You've got to remember that Brad Raffensperger at the Mark Meadows hearing on Monday testified about that phone call. These are folks who have taken a stand against Trump and what occurred during the 2020 election.
And survived.
Yeah, and survived. And our, Kemp is pretty broadly popular. He's certainly conservative. Georgia's just very different from other conservative states. It's hard to explain. And I'm not entirely sure what the reason for that is as to why Georgia's Republican.
It is interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
This is a really interesting question. Why the Georgia Republican Party is so different, say, the Arizona Republican Party or the Michigan Republican Party, all of which have set themselves on fire with crazy. And then there's the Georgia Republican Party, which seems to have this thread of sanity. And in fact, the fact that Brad Raffensperger and Brian Kemp won their primaries rather easily, it really is one of the extraordinary sort of contrarian political developments of the year.
It is pretty extraordinary. So back to the point of what's happening with Fani Willis, I think that even though there is a strand of the party in Georgia, there are the Colton Moores, those far right folks who are going to just make outrageous claims and try to get some movement and get some attention in MAGA world. I just don't see it happening in the long term. I'm hopeful that it doesn't. But in the meantime, it really is causing some infighting amongst the legislatures who are Republican in the Georgia General Assembly.
Anna Bauer, thank you so much for your reporting and joining us on the podcast. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Summer is in full swing, and it's time to celebrate with all your favorite chips and sips. No matter what adventures you have planned, don't forget to stop by Walmart for everything you need to quench your thirst and satisfy those summer cravings. Whether you're hosting a backyard barbecue with the tangy crunch of Lay's Limon or catching some waves with the crisp, refreshing taste of an ice-cold Pepsi, it's the perfect season to get your snack on. But summer won't be here forever, so stock up on all your favorite chips and sips at Walmart.com.
When rain pours and rivers rise, it's like a water park without the fun. Just an inch of water can flood your living room. Protect your property with flood insurance or low or no cost options. Stay prepared. Visit floodsmart.gov/SET.
Okay, so Ben, picking up with something I was just discussing with Anna, this congressional push to defund the special counsel, it's so bizarre. It's not going anywhere. At least I don't think it's going anywhere. But the willingness of congressional Republicans to basically say, yes, obstructing justice, defunding the criminal justice system is really one of our top priorities, is really one of the more remarkable developments of the year. I mean, if you want to be a little bit snarky about it, the Democrats had their defund of the police, and that didn't work out well for them. And the Republicans seem to be saying, hey, hold our beer. We're not just going to defund the police. We're going to defund the whole freaking thing. So this is a new development. I'm trying to think of other precedents where members of Congress, members of the Appropriations Committee would formally introduce resolutions that would cut the Department of Justice off at the knees. So talk to me about that.
I can't think of any.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if there had been some noises about that among individual members during the Mueller investigation or some past special counsel investigations, but I'm certainly not recalling it. It won't, as you say, it won't go anywhere because, there is a Senate and the president has a veto, and realistically, defunding individual investigations is something that Congress is ill-positioned to do. That said, it does, as you say, show a lot about where the caucus is and, what it's willing to contemplate in defense of Donald Trump. And notice that it's not done with any protestation that he's innocent, right? It's just, let's defund the investigation / prosecution because, well, it's all about power and we can.
All right, there's a lot of major developments this week. Let's go to the federal case in D.C. The District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan set a trial date of March 4th, 2024, which is the eve of Super Tuesday. And she did this after a hearing. It was apparently a rather contentious hearing. She had to, several times tell Trump's lawyer, let's take the temperature down. They were asking for a trial date set in the spring of 2026, which was laughable. She tried to get them to be reasonable. Can we come up with a compromise? They wouldn't budge. And it's kind of interesting because the attorney, Laura, is considered to be, a credible attorney, right? But clearly he is doing what Donald Trump is demanding he do. And as a result, the judge just basically rolled over him. Is that what happened?
I think so. So we have a very detailed account of this hearing on Lawfare from Sarafin Danani. I think in Mr. Laro's defense, he has an impossible job here. The client is only interested in a trial date that is after the election. There is no basis for that kind of a request. And so you don't actually get to say, and Judge Chutkan was clear about this, you don't get to say if you're a professional athlete, hey, can we wait till after the NBA season because I, really don't want to miss my games, right? And You don't get to say if you're, a concert pianist, hey, I've got a tour coming up. Can we wait until after that? Trials don't yield to professional convenience. And, she was pretty frank and pretty clear about that. And that's true if you're a political candidate, too. So you can't say if you're John Lauro, hey, we've got an election coming up. And if we win it, we can make this case go away. So can you please schedule the trial for after the election so that preferably with a little time for us to get sworn in so that we can have an attorney general drop this case or we can, pardon ourselves if need be. Like, you don't actually get to make that argument. So what do you have left? Well, you have to make the argument that this is some outrageous amount of discovery that is so vast that you couldn't possibly get this done until, several years from now. And the problem with that is that it's not true. This is a significant volume of discovery, but as the prosecution points out, a lot of it is duplicative of itself. A lot of it is duplicative of material that was already in the public record because the January 6th committee released it. And a lot of it is also material that was obtained from Trump's own campaign and super PAC. And so he already has access to. We're not providing him anything new when we give him this discovery. So yeah, it's millions of pages, but it's not millions of new pages. And by the way, we've organized the stuff in a sort of roadmap kind of binder for him, the stuff that's really new. And so if you think about it that way, it's much less material than is in a lot of major white-collar investigations. And so Lauro ends up in this position where he can't make the argument that he really means. He has to make an argument that's not really true. And Judge Chutkan, she's been around the block a few times. She's not, especially patient with this sort of nonsense. And so she, gives him 2 more months. The government was asking for January. She gave them a trial date of March, but she didn't give an extra 2 years, which was what he wanted.
I have a transcript of what she said. She said, let's not overlook the fact that Mr. Trump has considerable resources that every other defendant does not.
Translation, hire some more lawyers if you need to.
Well, exactly. And then, given how much discovery has been produced in electronic searchable form, and given the substantial portion that has been reviewed by Trump and his team, why won't the manner in which discovery has been turned over speed up your review, which is the point you just made there? So do you think it's going to take place in March? I mean, that does seem a little bit aspirational. Will it actually take place in March?
I think it's likely to take place at or near March. So, as with all of these things, somebody can get the flu and you can have a brief continuance or something. March 4th may mean March 20th, but it won't mean June.
Interesting.
I think we're likely to have a trial, in the first half of next year, yeah.
But of course, as the New York Times pointed out, it's unlikely that you're going to get a conviction before Donald Trump has wrapped up the Republican nomination. I think they put it like before Republicans know whether he's going to be found guilty. I think that's almost beside the point because there's no evidence suggesting that even if he was found guilty, that Republicans would not renominate him. I think that's pretty clear. By the way, this whole argument that it just will take too long to be able to mount a defense, and Lauro went out afterwards and said, this will deprive Donald Trump of adequate counsel and all of that sort of thing. He had another one of his lawyers, that young woman whose name that I forget right now because I haven't bothered to memorize it, goes on one of the talk shows and says, none of this will be easy for Donald Trump. He doesn't need to prepare. He's got this great brain. He's got the best memory in the world. And, he doesn't need any prep. He knows what he did. He knows what he said. So you have lawyers arguing exactly the opposite point about how hard it is to mount a defense.
I mean, I think the judge is likely to ignore the talk show defense. Yeah. There's a sophistication among federal judges, at least good ones, that there's the PR thing and then there's what you say in court. I do think Lauro's advanced acknowledgement that he may provide ineffective assistance of counsel because of the time frame was a pretty shocking thing for him to say. And it will not have been lost on Judge Chutkan that he basically threatened to not do his job. And she responded pretty sharply to that. I think that was a tactical error on his part to make that threat.
The other word I was referring to is Alina Habba. I'll remember it in the future. So.
I wouldn't spend a lot of brain power trying to remember their names because they do come and go real fast. Remember Ty Cobb?
Oh, yeah. But that was an easy one to remember. I mean, Ty Cobb.
It's true because he was Ty Cobb and he had that mustache.
I wish they would have kept him around because that was easy.
How about John Dowd?
Yeah, exactly.
You remember him?
I do absolutely remember him. There's something just in your mind.
They come and go so quickly that it's hard to remember them. So I've just stopped trying.
Yeah, it's like trying to remember license plates you see on the interstate.
Summer is in full swing, and it's time to celebrate with all your favorites.
Rise. It's like a water park, but without the fun. Did you know it only takes an inch of water to flood your living room? Flood insurance is the best way to protect your home from costly damage, but it's not the only way. There are low or no cost options to help you prepare. So be active, be prepared, and stay one step ahead with additional flood protection measures. Visit floodsmart.gov/SET to learn more.
This lucid hive
Okay, so this is not a strictly legal question, but I wanted to get your take on this as a student of the art and the politics. What do you make of the mugshot? We finally got the mugshot, an iconic moment. Trump world has decided to embrace this because, he's a badass. Of course, the anti-Trump world has also embraced it because it's a mugshot. What is your take? Does it help him? Does it hurt him?
Charlie, I support anything that brings us all together like this. The Trump world supports the mugshot, loves the mugshot. The anti-Trump world that supports the mugshot. It came as I was flying home from Europe. I read everybody's enthusiasm for the mugshot, and I just thought,
well, I think I'm going to take a break there. Holy shit, this is amazing. The moth build. But yeah, I think I'll probably do some more Grenadier strikes tonight. I'm hoping in the next few hours to publish, or at least edit a video to be published from our live stream. So let me get on that, and I'm going to get lunch, and I will catch you in the next live stream. Thanks for watching.